Going to go through the movement standard for the dumbbell thruster. So she'll pick them up. She can squat clean them. She can power clean them. Doesn't matter as long as they start at the shoulder and she passes through a full depth squat. She can accelerate through the bottom of the squat to then finish with both dumbbells overhead. Now we know this is going to be a little faster of a workout, so we need to make sure that our elbows at least hit the lockout position as a punch at the top, and that when they come down into the front rack, they're controlled. So we don't see dumbbells moving independently. They move up and down at the same time, and our elbows stay locked. So a normal standard for the dumbbell thruster is to have your arm, wrist, and shoulder, elbow and shoulder, all stacked over top of each other with a full hip extension, full knee extension, and your head barely poking through the window, okay? Your judge will no rep you if for any reason you don't go to parallel, or if your dumbbells don't go to the proper height, which you can tell by the elbow. So you guys will have the opportunity to select from an outer bar, being one of the steel bars, or an inner bar, one of the powder-coated bars. This movement standard for the toes of the bar, you're gonna jump onto your pull-up bar. Your feet have to pass behind your hips, and then all the way up to the bar. They have to actually make contact with the bar, toes to bar. For our scaled athletes, the standard is going to be a knees over hips, so a hanging knee raise, but with the standard being your knee needs to come up over the hip line here. Hang clean and jerks rather. She's going to deadlift the bar up first on the first rep only to ensure full hip extension from the hang. From there, she can hang clean to her front rack and then go up overhead with the same lockout standard that we had in the thruster. Your arms are all the way extended up overhead, your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder are locked in one standing position, and your head is forward of that window. To go back down, go ahead and just cycle a few. You don't have to stop at your shoulder, you can go right back to your hip. You can stop at the shoulder if you want to, but you don't have to. All right, as long as you're reaching full extension at the top with your elbows, shoulders, and your hips and your knees. All right, full extension at the top. Couple bad reps. If you just power clean it right from the ground, that's a no rep. You can continue from there, but that first one's not going to count. So make sure you deadlift the bar up to start. If you don't, I hope you don't do that, but if you do this, first you just suck. You go all the way up, and maybe you don't go to full extension overhead. All right, you come back down, continue. Make sure that you extend your arms all the way up and your head pops through that window with everything stacked up and extended at the end of each rep. All right. You also will be no rep if you drop the bar from the top after your 15th rep of each round. All right. And that's purely for safety. So just control it to your hip and then let go as long as your hands are below your hips. So holding the kettlebell, you can hold it any way you want to, but the kettlebell has to remain above your knees, okay? So right now, it's a little borderline, still counts. This would be better, all right? What we mean by below your or above your knees is you can't sit in the squat here and hold it in this goblet position. You can't let it rest on your toe. You can't use your elbows to hold here, as this is a pretty easy position, okay? So ideally, your kettlebell is up on your shoulder. You don't need to maintain two hands, just one hand will do. No hands if you're risky, but from there, any way you want to hold it is fine, as long as it stays generally above your knees. Yeah. So the only standard for the bike is that the athlete cannot touch the monitor at all whatsoever. The athlete will do nothing on the monitor. Your judge, at the 3-second mark before starting, will push start for you, then go happens and you go. You're gonna go all the way to 75 calories. For the dumbbell box step over, the athlete's gonna pick up their dumbbells, hold them only at their side, not in their front rack, not any other way, just at their side, and they're gonna step with both feet onto the top of the box and get off however they want without jumping. Okay, you must step down. I want you guys to jump with both dumbbells trying to go faster. But both feet have to touch the top of the box for the rep to count. All right, and then remember, we're doing them in even numbers, meaning that when you're done with your dumbbells, you're gonna replace them back on the side where you got them from, okay? And as a little safety note, just keep in mind the distance between where the dumbbells are. There will be a line the day of the competition, and we would like them to be on the other side of the line. You won't be penalized if they fall into that line or not, but it's just a safety precaution that if you were to step off the box and step onto a dumbbell, you might twist your ankle. So just keep that in mind when placing your dumbbells back down. All right, guys, so for the wall walk standard, just like we do in the CrossFit Open, you're gonna have a tape measure or the tape line that's 10 inches from the base of the wall, okay? That's gonna be for your RX athletes that are looking to do the wall walk RX. One part of your hand, any part of your finger, on both hands at the same time, okay? Not meaning you have to touch them both simultaneously, but one goes, the other goes. They have to both be touching the line at the same time before returning, okay? To start each movement, guys, you're gonna start with one finger on the blue line. Girls, you're gonna start with your one finger on the red line, okay? These lines are at 55 inches for ladies and then 60 inches for guys, okay? You are going to pop up from here for your wall walk. You cannot move your hands from the line until both feet are up on the wall, okay? Once you make contact with the 10-inch line, you can then come back down, both hands to the 55-inch line, and then your feet come down. Your chest and thighs need to finish on the ground, okay? Every rep of the wall walk is gonna start and finish just like that. Don't waste and get any costly no reps by not going all the way down or sliding off the wall in a different way, okay? These are we're gonna hold you guys to a very high standard with the wall walk, so just make sure that you are taking your time and doing these as best you can, all right? For scaled athletes, there's 2 lines in the front. You're gonna start with your entire hand. Guys, both hands in front of the blue line. Girls, both hands in front of the red line. And then from there, you're gonna kick up just like you would a regular wall walk, keeping your hands in front of the line, and with your feet on the wall, move both hands back behind the line and then back in front of the line, and then your feet can come down all the way flat before the rep is completed, okay? So there's your scaled and your RX wall walks.